Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you some information about your Chapter 1 test. So I'm going to break it down into 3 parts. The first part is going to be a one-pager, kind of like what you've already done. The second part is going to be a photo assignment, and the third part is going to be an online quiz. So 2 of these parts can be done at any time before the due date, and I'm going to strongly encourage you to complete parts 1 and 2 before the day of the online quiz, because the day of the online quiz, I'm going to have the due date for parts 1 and 2 at 6 p.m. that day. So part 1, the one-pager. You're going to want to use a template. You can choose any of the ones that are in your beginning of the school year packet. There are some additional copies in the classroom in the plastic file box near the printer. You can also print any extra copies from the digital file on Google Classroom, so you have access to any of those. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the topic scientific theory versus scientific law. And what I want you to do is demonstrate the differences between the two. You're going to need to provide an explanation and examples. And so the rubric that I'm going to grade you on is below. And you can see I'm looking for a good explanation of the topic. I'm looking for a variety of examples. And I'm looking for how well organized your creativity and your effort was done in this. So this is going to be very similar to what you did the first time. However, since this is a test, I am going to be grading it with a little bit more of a critical eye than I did with your first one-pager that you completed for class. So again, your one-pager, scientific theory versus scientific law. You're comparing between the two and indicating how they're different. What's the difference between these two? And don't forget to provide examples. So part 2 is going to be a photo assignment. So I'm going to have you look for examples of physics in your world. So now that you know about some of the topics that are covered in physics, I'm going to want you to take a look at your own environment and observe places where physics is important. So all of us can take pictures of cars and buses and bikes moving. I'm not going to give credit for things like that that are so common. Okay, what I want you to do is take 3 photos of physics in your own personal life, and then write 3 to 5 sentences describing each of the following for each photo. So each photo is going to have its own paragraph. So first, I want you to tell me what the subject of the photo is. Just in case I can't tell, make it clear to me exactly what you were taking a photo of and what you were trying to show. Point B, explain how the subject relates to physics. What is it that you were trying to demonstrate? Sometimes it's not clear in the first photo, and maybe you need to help me understand. And then third, explain how this photo subject and physics relates to your own life. Like, why did you choose to take a picture of this? Is this something that you see every day? Is this something you see occasionally? Give me some idea of how this is and how it affects your life. So the rubric is given below. I'm going to look for photos being your own. I'm going to look for 3 to 5 sentences. I'm going to look, did you describe what the photo is? Did you describe how the subject relates to physics? And did you explain how the photo subject and physics affects your life? I'm going to look at it overall and see, is it well organized? Is it well done? Is it easy to read or look at? Does it look like something that was thrown together in the last minute before class? Or did you do a nice job of it? So that's the second part of your test. And then the final part of your test is the online quiz portion. So we're going to use classmarker.com, and you should have already completed video G and the practice quiz, so you are familiar with logging into the website, using it to see how to take a quiz using this particular website, and that should already be familiar to you. So the quiz has 18 questions. It's really not that long. It has a combination of multiple choice, true, false, and short answer questions. So a couple of the short answer questions are extremely short. You will see at least one question that's a little bit longer, and these are like the thoughtful, the deeper thinking just questions that you had at the end of chapter 1. I took the 3 questions that were assigned to you in that very last assignment in chapter 1 and copied them right on over into the test. So you will see at least one of those on your test. And that will be your longest essay question on the test. So your time limit will be 1 class period. You will not need the entire class period. The way the classmarker.com website allows me to set this up, it will be set up with once you start the test, you need to finish. It will not allow you to go back and change your answer. The questions are randomized so that no one's quiz will be identical to anybody else's quiz. And the topics are going to include general information on physics, and that means what is physics and why we study it. Information about Eratosthenes, the concept of scientific, theories or laws, and then some short answer questions based on the information in the last couple of sections, including the one on art, science, and religion, technology, and basic science. So again, it will be given in these 3 parts. The 1-pager is worth 30 points. The photo assignment's worth 30 points, and the online quiz is worth 40 points. So I'm going to reiterate, I strongly encourage you to complete parts 1 and 2 before the day of the online quiz. In addition, I want to remind you that I do expect that you will do your own work on this test and that you will not be using your notes or textbook or online resource, any other outside assistance when you are doing the online portion of your test. Okay. I do expect that you will be using your resources for your 1-pager and your resources for your photo assignment. But as far as the online quiz, I want to know what you understand. I want to know what you know at this point. This test is not set up to be an extremely hard test. It really is the information that you've seen up until this point. But I do want to remind you that integrity is important here, and that doing the right thing, even when no one is watching you, is a key part of what we try to encourage here at Beaumont. So again, information about your test is given in this PowerPoint. It's going to be on Google Classroom. You'll be able to watch this video anytime you want. And in addition, I have a document that's going to describe and give all of the rubric information that I presented in this PowerPoint to you, and you will have access to this information anytime you need it. So ladies, good luck preparing for your test. And if you have any questions, please be sure to email me.